Good morning, friends. It's Tuesday morning. It's just after 9:30. It's August 23rd, 2022. It's time for Coffee on the Porch with Eric. I'm Eric. This is not my porch. The porch is wet and messed up and drying out, as we will talk about in a minute, because you may have heard that we had a big rain around here. Last night was a big rain and I found myself searching again for something inside me that no one could take or give away. Last night was a big rain. It was actually 2 nights ago, but just go with it. Yes, friends, it's Coffee on the Porch with Eric. Welcome. That is where you are. I hope it's where you expected to be. Coffee on the Porch with Eric. This is a gathering that we do online once a week on a Tuesday morning. Good morning, Robert Berger. Good morning, Frank, my dear good buddy Frank Rom, who I talked with last night as I walked through Deep Ellum. Good night, good morning, buddies. Good to see you both. Man, I need a cough button here, which I do not have. Sorry about that. Yeah, we are live. We are here. It is time for Coffee on the Porch. Let me adjust the picture a little bit more, and I realized I got to clean my glasses. Got to be able to see you people from all over the country who join us live every Tuesday morning on YouTube for Coffee on the Porch. That's what we're doing here for the next hour. Music, conversation, little theology. Good morning, Carol Ann. Are you back from the Northeast? Are you still there? Good morning, Paula from Chicago. Welcome in. Welcome on in, you guys. Come on in. Good morning, Linda Waring. Everybody's showing up. Good to see y'all. Do share this. It is, in fact, slightly easier to share things here, I think. It was. Yeah, there it is. It's up here. Got a little share button here that I can do quickly and share this over on my own feed. And I will do that in a couple of ways. Don't mind me while I'm goofing with this. Yeah, Coffee on the Porch time, friends. Do share it with your feeds. I like to remind you to do that early on if you would. It really, really helps people to find us. Oops. Now I can't find us. Now I can't find me. I don't know. Facebook is so... Everything that they make simple, they break. You've heard me complain about this. It's so freaking annoying. See, like now I gotta switch something else to be able to post to my page because I can't just post to my page anymore. So, I don't know why they break these things. Now you have to watch me doing this, which is not good live broadcast. I get that. It's annoying broadcast, in fact. It is. I would be annoyed. Come on, post. There, it finally posted. Whew. Okay. And then I did a little thing here, which I'm going to post it here. I'm just trying to cover all our bases this morning. And y'all do the same if you will. Bring us on in. Okay, I'm done with that mess. I'm going to trust that you guys will... post this as well. Now let me get back to YouTube here. Good morning, Sally Hoover. Thank you. Thank you for your continued prayers, Sally. You know what I mean by that. The little messages you send are lovely. Okay, Carol Ann says she is back from the north west. And yes, hot, and water has drained out of the patio. Not too bad. Did anyone get the text? It didn't come to me today. Oh, really? Okay. So yeah, y'all, the rest of y'all chime in. Did you not get the text reminder? I don't have a decent explanation for why that wouldn't have happened. Good morning. I don't know what that means. Does yes mean yes, I did get it, or yes, I did not get it? Frank says he's completely annoyed by the, I don't know what you mean. I text friends to remind. Thank you, Robert. It says I friends, but I figured you out here, buddy. It's good to see y'all. It's good to be with you. And let's just get started, shall we? Because my guess is we will zip off on a couple of tangents. Oops, wait, how did that jump so quick early? Oh, I already had that slide up. Good morning, Larry Pennington. Larry and Sherry joining us from Colorado. You know how we start this every week with the question, how is your soul? How are y'all doing right now? What is happening with you, in you? How you feeling about the world, life in general? Maybe the world sucks, but life is okay, or the other way around? I don't know. You tell me. That's the point. So, how is your soul? Oh, this is how we start. How is it that I forget the coffee? I don't think I've ever used my EF Yeti mug. Or if I have, it's been a long time. I already had some pre-poured coffee because I really needed it, but here we go. Oh man, listen to that. It's the Onyx coffee from Fayetteville, Arkansas. It drinks. Oh, I got my Mount Sequoia shirt on today. I'm representing Fayetteville in a number of ways today with my coffee and my shirt. Cheers, friends. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. How you doing? Leave us a comment. I see some of you starting to do that. Take a sip. Actually think about it. Don't just answer right away. That's what we always do. How are you? I'm fine. No, think about it. Think about how you are. Am I good? Am I bad? Am I indifferent? Cheers. I got to tell you, I love coffee in the morning. I really, really love it. It is such a small good thing, right? It's just one of those beautiful, small good things. So, yeah. All right, Nancy Kelly says she did get the notice. So, Carol Ann, I don't know how to explain that then, my friend. How is your soul? Filled up? Empty? Dry, wet, overflowing, parched. How's your soul? Oh, Paula didn't get it either. What? Well, I'll have to check on that. How is your soul? How is your soul? Oh, it was a big rain, big rain. 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 Yes, it was a big rain, big rain. What's going on in your world in Chi-Town or a big ring, big ring. Oh, it was a big ring, big ring. Oh, it was a big ring, big ring. Yeah, it was a big ring, big ring. Okay, let's see what you're saying. I know you're saying a few comments here. Let me check them out. Let me roll it back. Okay, I am somewhat disturbed that some of you are not getting the text message. I can't explain that. It's an automatic thing that just happens. So I'll have to go in later and check it out. Try to figure out what happened. All right, let's see what you're saying here. Whoops. Paula says this, quoting St. David of Wilcox. Paula says, "My soul is appreciating my breathing." Yeah. For different reasons, I'm right with you, my friend. Yeah, I get it. One day at a time. That's all we can ever live. But when you're going through the kind of thing that Paula's going through right now, the health challenges that she's going through, it comes back to you in a new way. Yes, you understand that truth at a deeper, more existential level, that all we can do, all we can ever do, is live one day at a time. And we tend to forget that. And so Paula has been given the horrible gift of being pushed to breathe in, breathe out, and take each day. And we're glad to see you, friend. We really are. Right? Isn't everybody glad to see her? And we know you're going through a lot. Carol Ann says this, "I really miss when we don't have music. I'm so glad to see the guitar in your lap. I need y'all this AM." She says she's feeling flat and you want to be sharp. Well, you heard me tuning it up a bit. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. So glad to see it. And glad to hear that. Yeah, it's, I appreciate, thank you for missing the guitar. I miss it when we don't do it either. That said, especially in the last couple of weeks, it's been pretty hard to imagine doing it. And I'm going to mess myself up. Don't do that, Eric. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Hang on just a second. I feel like I need to bump up the AC about a degree or two. So hang on just a second. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. It's just super humid here right now, and so it helps me a bit to pull some of the humidity out of the air. Sally Hoover says this, that she is nervous, somewhat depressed, and worried about too many things. I have 2 wet dogs who still want to go out and play. That's great. I'm glad they want to go out. I had the opposite problem here. Daisy did not want to go out. She takes one look at that and she just, no, not for me. No, the rain's not for me. Mm-mm. And so she peed in the house last night, apparently. So yeah, it's annoying. It's an annoying thing. So I'm sorry about the being nervous and depressed. I hope you can see that there are other people right with you. Paula seems to be, Carol Ann seems to be, and as Larry is saying right here, Larry is feeling unsettled, and the waves of life just keep coming. Well, hang on to that metaphor about the waves of life, because we'll be talking about that in just a bit. I think we're all, maybe not all, but many of us are in a similar place of somewhat feeling unsettled. Sally asks if the garden survived the rain. It seems to have. In fact, the sage is doing crazy good right now. It's just exploding. It seems to be exploding all over town, so it's nice. I mean, some of the flowers got. We're not going to know till the sun can get out for a day or two and dry things a bit. We'll see. Oh boy. Robert Berger has big news. My son's wife decided to separate because she feels my son pressured her to get married 12 years ago. He sacrificed his family, his best friends, and religion. Went to Chicago to be maybe with him. Well, I'm so sorry about that, Robert. That's a very painful development, and I'm sure that even though your son is older, that's hard. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch that happen to our children at any age when they're going through a hard moment. So I'm very sorry to hear that, and I know that everybody else is too. So sorry about that, buddy. Well, we've got stuff going on, don't we? We've got people have things happening. Yeah. So let's get right into it, shall we? And start talking about some of this stuff. I think you know what I don't know where Nancy Bryant is. I kind of expected we might see her today. How am I? Oh, right. How am I? Forgot that. I am good. I am mostly good. And I think the big rain, honestly, has helped me a bit, I'll be honest. And I think time. I continue to be completely humbled by the people of Kessler Park and their patience. Our staff has been through it. You know, you may remember Pastor Kay Ash's father died 2 weeks before my mother died. He had been in hospice longer than my mom had. So we have both been for months dealing with these failing parents who were dying, and then they died right around the same moment. And I just... yeah, it's been a little tender then to think about all of that happening all at once. So yeah, thank you, Nancy. But I'm doing well, and I'm deeply grateful for the patience. I do. Fall is coming, and I'm feeling that we do need to do a little planning. For some things for the fall, and get some stuff going and make sure we've got the seeds sown so they can grow in time. And so I am feeling a little bit of that it's sort of time to turn a bit from several weeks of being very inward. We surrendered my mom's apartment yesterday. I handed in the keys there. And that was a big step. It was sad because she was very proud of having moved there, and very proud of the friends she made there in that last final little chapter of her life. So that was a little bittersweet, but also a huge relief to have that done. And so now what I hope is estate-wise and just in terms of the stuff I have to do, I feel like, I could be wrong about this, but I feel like we're at a plateau where we have to wait for some other financial things to settle out before we can do anything else related to the estate. So there'll be a sort of a limbo period that just kind of is, but it means I don't have days and days full of stuff, if that makes any sense, to do. So yeah, that's kind of a big sigh of relief for me. Yeah, but the big rain. was the big story, and that kind of blows the weather can do that for us in a good way, or like big life events can do that for us, where suddenly something sweeps in, some big storm sweeps in, or beautiful rain sweeps in, and we sort of completely get taken to a new place. Yes. So that's kind of what I love rain. You guys know that, I think. We have the two big porches, so it doesn't matter where the rain is sweeping in from. I generally have a porch where I can go out and watch the storm, and I love to watch the storms, and I did that the other night. It was amazing. Keep in mind, friends, that here in Texas, in Dallas, good morning, David Griggs. Glad to be back. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of us. Good to see you. Here in Texas, we've had several several months of no rain in the center of this big, huge chunk. Now, down in Houston, my sister keeps going, well, we get rain. It's like, it's because you live in Houston. It always rains in Houston. Just stop. Everywhere else in Texas, this big high-pressure system has been over the middle of our state since May. And we've had, as you know, temperatures over 100 degrees for, I don't know, we've probably had 70 100-degree days, I'm guessing. A couple of months plus 10, maybe. 60, 70, 100-degree days, 100-degree plus. Just beating brutal heat. And I like summer. Very dry, very drought. Everything's burned up. If you don't water it, everything's burned up. It was rough. And then suddenly, Sunday, Monday, or Monday, Tuesday, Sunday night, Monday, into Monday morning, that's when it was. David says, you're unsettled also, worried about our country. Things are overly tense. They really are. Yeah, I 100% agree, they really are, David. Yeah, it is a concern. Suddenly we had this rain. And parts of Dallas, so let me, without putting the numbers in, just know this. We were experiencing the driest August ever through the first 22 days. You like the new tie-dye up there? That's relatively new. Debbie says she likes the tie-dye above the window. Yeah, I can't even remember where I got that from, but yeah, thank you. Well, I like it too. I don't know, it's empty space. I like filling the empty space. First 21 days of August, no rain, driest August ever, after I had to have been the driest July ever, I'm sure. In 24 hours, we went from the driest August ever to the second wettest August ever. And in some parts of the county, it was the wettest August ever. We got right here somewhere between 8 to 10 inches. Our rain gauge is broken, so I don't know exactly what, but areas right around us, as I looked, 8 to 10 inches in less than 24 hours. And my friend Rollins Gilliland, great poet, if you know, who is here in Dallas. Rollins lives in southeast Dallas County. He got 15 plus inches down there in southeast Dallas County. 15. Unbelievable weather. Let me just show you. So how I am is the last few days I've been amazed by the power of these storms. Many of you were gracious to ask us. We really did get among the worst of it. The eastern part of the county, the southeast and northeast, we're kind of right in central east, right along I-30 is kind of where we are, if you know Dallas. This is a neighbor's yard down in Munger Place, which is about 4 blocks from here. And so you can see how high the water got up in their yard, and you see that milk bottle for some. Now you see at the porch, it actually got right up to their porch. You see that? Lapping up right on their porch. Look at that, friends. It did not. This is what happens. We're up on kind of a ridge up here near Lakewood Shopping Center. And so Junius Heights is actually relatively slightly higher ground, and there's this steep, slow downhill that goes for 3 miles roughly, or 2.5 miles from where we are right here, 2.5 miles from where we are right here to the central business district. Okay? And it's just this clear downhill. You can see it looking at it. And so by the time even you got to Munger Place, we did not have flooding like this, but you can see it was almost in their house right there at Munger Place. Very, very close. The owners there told me highest water they ever remember seeing. This was, oh, by the way, this was on my walk last night. I decided to walk over to Deep Ellum. Denise is out of town, so I walked over to Deep Ellum to have some dinner. This is a bit farther. If you know East Dallas, there's a park called Buckner Park. And this is very near Grace United Methodist, very near Zaragoza Elementary. And look at that wrapped around the pole and the mud and detritus there. That water was so powerful, it wrapped that piece around the pole. That had to be chest-high water, waist to chest-high water flowing through that street less than 24 hours before I took that picture. And here is another shot very near there as well. That's a dog park that is right there at near Buckner Park. I can't remember the exact name of the dog park, but those of you who know it know what I'm talking about. And look at that fence, and look at the debris line. Again, that's waist-high debris line stuck in that fence. So you had waist-high to chest-high water flowing through that neighborhood. And I did not put pictures of houses in here, but I did see houses that had clearly been flooded over there in Old East Dallas. What we call Peaks Edition is the neighborhood, if you know the neighborhood. And but I didn't feel right posting pictures of people's houses, but I posted pictures like this. This is a picture taken, this is Deep Ellum. Then this is just a little farther west. So this is another half mile from where that last picture was, maybe. This was not taken by me, but taken by someone in the middle of the storm, in the middle of the night. This is Clover Street, right in Deep Ellum, just south of Commerce. You have Elm, Main, and Commerce, and then Clover is a tiny little street. Look at that. That's up halfway up the door there. So lots of flooded businesses, lots of seriously flooded businesses. And then yesterday morning, this is pulling the clock back a bit, I had to drive all over town in the midst of the rain still falling because Denise had to go to Austin to testify. She's literally, as we're here, she's probably at the Capitol testifying right now to the House. But I went over to the church after I dropped her off yesterday morning, and I checked everything out. Things were good there, by the way. We have a few small roof leaks that we've had for a while, but nothing major, thank God. We have before had some pretty major flooding at Kessler Park, but thank God we did not yesterday. But look, you can't even see downtown, and the Trinity was full. I didn't really get a great Trinity picture, so I didn't post that. But anyway, well, that's some pictures from me about how all this took place. It was insane. It was a little crazy and a little insane. And so, as you might imagine, for 30 years, when we have a big rain, I think of my dear friend Sarah Hickman, who used to play right up the road here. I think of the song she wrote. She, of course, has lived in Austin for decades now, but this is Sarah's song. You can figure the title. I don't need to tell you. Last night was a big rain. I found myself searching again. Last night was a big rain. I curled myself into a note. In the front seat you were talking to my girlfriend as I slipped into the sky. Last night when the sky split, I was sailing as you drove along, talking about Kovacs and singing those Johnny Cash songs. I hovered above you, rain bouncing on my back, stopping at the red light. You turned to explain. Oh, last night as I flew around and the sky took me in and told me a dream with a fistful of flowers wrapped up in a blanket of blue. Oh, it was a big rain, big rain. 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 Last night, for the first time in a long time, I let myself fly. The heartbeat of your talking kept me anchored to the back seat. I was a brother to the shadows. My thoughts were silent wings, rider of the rain clouds, just until that light turned green. Oh, last night when you told me that you're so glad I'm so down to earth, laughing, we were laughing as I wiped the rain from my sleeve. And last night was a big rain, and I found myself searching again for something inside me that no one can take or give away. Or take or give away. Oh, it was a big rain, big rain. 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 Last night was a big rain. I found myself searching again for something inside me that no one can take or give away. I love Dear Sarah. You know Sarah. Y'all know Sarah. Everybody knows Sarah. Man, if you don't know Sarah Hickman, you got to get with it, my friends. That's all I'm saying. That's from her very first record from, I don't know, years ago. Howdy, Robert. Good to see you, buddy. How'd y'all fare? How'd you fare at your place? We've been talking about the storm. You might have heard. Yeah, Robert Graham is quoting Frederick Buechner. Isn't this a great quote? This is one of Frederick Buechner's quotes. What is lost is nothing to what is found, and all the death that ever was, set next to life, would scarcely fill a cup. 100%, buddy. He's a good one. He's great. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you, friend. But Sarah Hickman, you got to know Sarah. You really do. Everybody needs to know Sarah. She's just a light. That's all I can tell you. She is a light of the world in so many ways, really. And so I hope you all get to know her. She's a dear friend, and I love her. She was playing a show. She was playing a show here a couple years ago, and she actually stopped by the church and took a selfie of herself in front of the church and waved and said hi, which was super sweet. So it was a big rain. For 30 years, that's a 30-year-old song, and for 30 years, every time we have a big rain, that's what goes through my head, that line. Last night was a big rain. I mean, it just pops in. I just can't help it. And so, I mean, we had the big rain, right? Let's talk about storms, though. Let's talk about learning to live with storms. That it could be, can it not, an important spiritual step for us, yes? There we are in the midst of the storm. Some days are stormy. Some storms are horrible. We cannot avoid the storms. It's not possible to avoid the storms of life, right? They are going to come. This is the lesson that I am learning and relearning. Not only is it impossible to live life without storms, it's impossible to have life without storms. There's no way. Without the storms, there is no growth. I mean, have we not seen this? This is, by the way, downtown. This is the look from Oak Cliff as I'm driving back across the viaduct yesterday. All over town. I had to drive man, did I have to drive over town yesterday. I mean, I was everywhere. I was North Dallas, Richardson, Oak Cliff, Uptown, Love Field. I'm telling you, I was all over the place. And the manhole covers were blown up off of everywhere. There were still roads closed yesterday morning. Lots of them still yesterday morning. It was crazy here, crazy. But if we don't have those storms, if those storms don't happen, it is literally not possible for there to be growth. You can't have one without the others. It's not possible to have a life of growth without also experiencing the storms of life. That is the contract that we make with each other. That is the price of living, if you will. And everybody gets them. There is no person, Paula, as we know, is going through a very serious personal crisis right now. And that's going to happen to all of us. It just happens to be happening to her right now. But there's nobody who gets through life, not the wealthiest person or the poorest person, who does not deal with the storms of life. So I want to write this, I've seen fire and seen rain. Yeah, well, that's right, Frito. We've seen both in the last week, right? You've seen both of them. I should have done that song today. I want to do a song for you that I wrote many years ago, and I've done it before here. One of my, Robert will know this place, one of my sacred places in Austin when I was there was Barton Springs, Barton Creek. It's just so beautiful, flows right through the center of town. And one day Denise was there for a conference, and I had a little spare time, so I went, and it was a particularly dry time in my life. And there, I sat down with my guitar and with a journal and was just journaling, and I noticed that I was sitting right next to a very small spring that flowed right. It wasn't the primary Barton Springs pool spring, but it was a side spring that is right there at the park. And it's natural springs are not beautiful. I mean, the water is kind of, it gets green and scaly on the top. But then it flows down, it trickled down this tiny little stream flowing into Barton Creek, which I then realized flows into the Colorado River, which then, of course, flows down to the ocean. So I thought about that, and I thought about how one of the scariest things can be if the springs stop flowing. This is the issue we've been having for months, right? Water rationing we've been doing. We've been worried about all this. So this song just sort of speaks to me in my life right now. It's not raining here, Robert. Isn't that weird? Literally, you're not even a quarter mile from me, I think. It's not raining here right now. So weird. This is called Song from the Spring. Morning sun slants through these trees with a glistening diamond dew. I'm sitting by a string-fed stream, soaking up its truth. The waters flow from underground into glassy pools, so still. Then they run so clear and strong across these stones, and tumbling ever toward the river, they join a flow so tranquil. So I learn again what I'd already known, that if that rain never falls, the spring would never flow at all. So I've saved up only sunny days with no clouds in the sky, but never thought to ask myself how it got so damn dry. I've damned this pain behind a levee strong, it can't be broken, and I pride myself on all I've engineered. But standing in this dry creek bed, I hear the word that's spoken that challenges yet calms my every fear. If that rain never falls, the spring would never flow at all. So bring those storm clouds back to me, and I'll stand out in the rain. I'll be unafraid of lightning strikes, unafraid of pain. And just before I leave this spring, I'll cup some water over my head, and I'll remember and be thankful for this day and for a whole lifetime of daily bread. I will remember and be thankful. If that rain never falls, the spring would never flow at all. If that rain never falls, the spring would never flow at all. That one's called Song from the Spring. Songs from the Spring by me, written sitting alongside Barton Creek and Barton Springs. Long time ago now. Yeah, it was just a dawning about that whole circle of life and water's part in that circle of life, right? And that we can't live with too much of it like we got here, but we can't live without it either. And sometimes it comes. Sometimes there are storms. I meant to find a picture. Did you like that one, Sally? Thank you. Yeah, and then if you notice, there's a little baptismal allusion, because at the end of being there by the creek, having had this spiritual moment of recognition that literally just came to me as I watched the water, I did scoop a little of the water and I put it on my head, and I remembered my baptism. That too is a symbol. That water of baptism is not just gentle. Sometimes it's a storm. Sometimes it pushes and prods us to go deeper. So Yeah, sometimes it's gentle washing, cleansing, and sometimes it's a big storm, right? I meant to find a picture to put in here, and I didn't, so I'll just have to show you this storm picture, of course, which is the one I snapped yesterday morning on the viaduct here in Dallas, as in the middle of the storm. I learned when I wrote that song, that verse about the last verse where it says, I'll bring those storm clouds back to me, and I'll stand out in the rain, unafraid of lightning strikes and unafraid of pain. That was just theoretical, honestly. It was theoretical in a personal way, and it was theoretical in a literal way. I'd never stood out in storms. But I've done a little of both since then in the last 30 years, I suppose, of saying to myself, trying the best I can to say, the storms will come, as I said earlier. There's no avoiding them. We can't drive around them and live our lives. We can't ignore them. They come. Unbidden, sometimes they come. Larry Pennington talked about the waves that he's feeling. Again, a water metaphor of these waves. Sometimes too strong feels like the waves, or sometimes it's like this picture. Let's see, where did that go? Oh yeah, like these pictures here of this horrible storm damage. Storms can be damaging. Yes, they can cause havoc and wreak havoc. With their power. The water, as my friend David Lamott wrote a song once called "The Water's Gonna Win," and it was about a hurricane, but I think it's true here. The water's gonna win. The storms are gonna come. We just have to move through them. We have to find the way to move through them. So bring those storm clouds back to me. What could it be like if we find a daily gratitude even for the most difficult parts of our life? I know that's a real deep level spiritual thing to suggest to you. Not in a platitudinous way that, oh, everything happens for a reason, or, oh, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. That's a bunch of bullshit. I mean, God gives you plenty you can't handle, or life gives it to you, better said. But, the reality is that through this, it is a truth of nature that without the storms, the gardens don't grow. Without the storms, there is no green. Without the storms, we live in a desert. We live in a dry creek bed. We live parched. Yeah. So we have to have them. And as you know, I love going to the Kerrville Folk Festival, and I'm so sorry I didn't look back. I meant to find some storm pictures, because that's where I learned to dance in the rain. Down at Kerrville, you're camping. Some people stay for 18 days. I still find that crazy. I got to get more coffee here. People actually stay down there for 18 days in a tent. But they do. Oh, man, that's going to be good right there. Robert, I think you were asking about the coffee. This is Onyx Coffee. Onyx, Onyx. Onyx from Fayetteville, Arkansas. You can find it at Whole Foods, by the way. They have 2 or 3 versions of Onyx. I get it mail order, and they send me coffee from all over the world, and it's always delicious. But at Kerrville, these storms come, these night storms come, and you're out there in a tent, and what are you going to do? You're 10 miles from the town. I mean, I guess you could go hide in your car. You just ride it out. You just hunker down in your tent and listen to the rain on the top of it. Or what we started doing was having storm parties. And we would there are these big, huge tents, like they have at the state fair for the pavilions where you go on the shopping pavilions. People put up these large tents where you could get 20, 30 people underneath them easily. And so we used to have these storm parties. People would break out the whiskey and the beer, and we toast the storm and just ride it out and just watch it coming through in our rain ponchos, rain sweeping in the side, drenched, completely drenched, of course, lightning striking all around us. Not a joke, not a joke. And we just sit there and watch the storms. Even had a storm circle one night at Camp Bill in Nashville, where we hunkered at his circle, again with our rain ponchos and the guitars we did not care about. and and we traded songs. We traded storm songs. I played that song I just played for you in the middle of a massive rainstorm. They probably couldn't even hear it now that I think about it because of the rain. So so we can learn to we don't have to like the storms, but we can learn to accept them. Bring the storm clouds back to me, and I'll stand out in the rain, unafraid of lightning strikes, unafraid of pain. But just before I leave this spring, I'll cup the water over my head, and I'll remember my baptism, and I'll be thankful. I'll remember that for this day, even the challenging days, for this day, and for a whole lifetime of daily bread, I will remember and be thankful for the good, the bad, and the other, for the storms and the drought, for the dry and the wet. Robert Berger says this: fire and water are friend and foe, 100%. I see religion as fire and water. Too much is destructive and out of control. It can be. Of course it can be. We can have too much of a good thing, right? Yes. But it's going to happen. We overeat. We overindulge. We make bad choices, and then we have to correct ourselves. Yes, or the world gives it to us. We get some horrible thing that's happened to us personally. Frito says nephew just finished his first week at U of A. Of course, this is right there in Fayetteville. I don't know if you know that, buddy. This is a Fayetteville place, Mount Sequoia. Nice retreat center there. This is their old church. If you see the cross overlooking Fayetteville, that's the Mount Sequoia cross that you saw if you were up there with your nephew. I don't know if you were, but it's a great place there in Fayetteville. And that's where Onyx, Onyx, is from. They serve it at Union Coffee House here in Dallas, and I drink it every Tuesday here, and they really owe me a lot of coffee for all the times I plug them. That's all I'm going to say. But without the storms, without the days that look like this, my friends, without those stormy days, we never get a view like this. Look at that. That was taken last evening by my friend Justin Tevern, who I hope I'm saying his name right, who is an amazing photographer here in Dallas, Texas. That's the same view. That's the view from Oak Cliff. And as you can see, the Trinity is now filled with water, taking that water back out to the ocean. It'll take it all the way down to the Gulf. 300 miles down Texas, winding its way. That water that fell from the sky is headed to the Gulf. But this was yesterday morning in that same spot, basically. That was about noonish, I would guess, after I'd been at church for a bit. That was yesterday morning, and that's last night. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the beauty of that. You see? This is what the storms bring. They clean things out. They clean things out. They wash away so much. And sometimes they overdo it, for sure. But without the rain, without the challenging days, there would be no scene like that. I hope you'll go to Justin's page. I'll post that picture on my page, or I may even use it as a cover page. He's I think he's the best at jumping out after a storm and finding these amazing shots here in Dallas. He's really, really good at it. So check out Justin, will you? All right, friends, a couple reminders for you. First, subscribe to this channel. Would you please subscribe if you have not yet? See where that little box is? You should be able to see it right there. I hope you'll subscribe to this YouTube channel. That helps people find us. We're still building an audience here. We don't have nearly the views that we had on Facebook, although I think we have people that stick with us longer, which is nice. So subscribe to this channel and share that with your friends and allow them to subscribe. Here's where we were this week. Here's where we went. We started out the hour rather, with Sarah Hickman, my dear friend Sarah. I'm going to have to send this to Sarah. I think she'll be happy I did her song. Sarah, she's moving, by the way. She's moving to a new place. She's leaving Austin. This is a big deal for her. Sarah Hickman, last night was a big rain. I'm telling you, every time it rains, that pops into my head. And then my song called Song from the Spring. You can find that on my first CD. And you can find it on my SoundCloud if you want to listen. I think it's on Apple Music. If you can go find that. It's out there. That song is out there for you to enjoy if you want to hear that again. So anyway, so that's where we've been. That's what we've been doing today. Frito says, yes, beautiful region. Looking forward to traveling this fall for hog football. Man, they got good traditions up there, I'm telling you. They do. I'm glad Texas is moving to the SEC now to be able to play those Arkansas rivalries again, be able to play A&M again. It's going to be great. We're going to get that crap beat out of us, right, Robert? We're going to get the crap beat out of us for a while, but it's going to be great. Anyway, friends, I love you guys. I love the way you gather every week from whatever you're doing and you take a little time out. I hope you do it. I hope you do it every day, that you don't just do it on Tuesday, that you get a little drink and you sit back and you breathe in and you breathe out and you say, where am I? Is this a stormy day? Is this a beautiful day? What is it? Oh, Robert Berger says, on the drive to Chicago, I listened to songs for the time being. Awesome, man. That's great. That makes me happy. Sometime soon, that new record's going to come out. Now that the situation with my mom has evened out some, I will turn back to that soon, and I've got some really exciting new songs to share with y'all. Well, friends, so glad you were with us. We're here every Tuesday morning right here on YouTube for an hour to talk theology, to talk life, to talk whatever is happening in the world, to play a little music. This is called Coffee on the Porch. Not on the porch today because it's way too wet out there, but maybe again soon. We'll be out in the backyard for a beautiful morning. Until then, I hope you guys rest well, be kind to yourself, speak kindly to yourself. Hope you feel the grace and peace of God. God bless you all, okay? We'll see. You're welcome, Robert. Thank you. Thank you for being here. See you soon.